Okay, we should be live. Let me check that everything's working properly. Give me a second. Testing. Testing. Cool, that's working. Okie dokie. Oops, that was me. 1 second. Okie dokie. So, today is the Spin the Wheel stream, and we had a bit of issues with the one that originally won. So, in the end, did a re-spin, and we're going to do the other one another time. Hopefully, once I've got it all worked out on setup and things. Check the Discord for more info. As I have put in there what happened and yeah, stuff like that. Either way, so the one that won after a reroll was the Create a Yu-Gi-Oh Archetype stream, which we have started. So I decided to bring up the PowerPoint and go over everything first before we continue on with where I was with the artwork. So also I'll be keeping an eye on chat on my phone because this will be taking up the whole of my screen, so I won't be able to check OBS. Just a heads up. Okay, so first things first. So I was trying to come up with an archetype and I came up with Stained Tails as an archetype. And the idea, wow, I was trying to think of like different things, and then I had an idea based on an anime I remember watching, uh, Bungo to Alchemist specifically. But the idea is um stories that have been changed. So with this one, I'm doing fairy tales, and the idea is that instead of following the normal fairy tale, something bad happens or a different outcome occurs from something happening. Because with a lot of these fairy tales, there are quite a few main key points and stuff in it. So with that, I then tried to come up with a list of card names or what type of things and what they would be. So we chose different fairy tales. I've stuck to I think 4 here. It's been a while since I've seen this. Got Cinderella, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Little Red Riding Hood, and Hansel and Gretel as as the main 4 stories at the moment. And I tried to make a few spells and traps for each, and monsters for each, as well as some non-specific cards. And at the moment, the one highlighted, Stained Tales of the Poison Apple, is the one that I'm currently working on at the moment. But just to go through them all, it's basically, I tried to write them as if, type thing. Like the idea with like for example Snow White, you can see here in the little footnote the difference in the story. The poison apple did kill Snow White, and under the stepmother's authority ensured the 7 dwarfs were blamed, then stopped the prince from meeting Snow White's body, ensuring she wasn't revived. And it's kind of like stuff like this. I tried to make sure to add a little kind of like point underneath to say what the change is with the story and stuff. But yeah, so at the moment, let me bring it up. Luckily, it's on the top layer, so I can just. Second, I think it's still up, right? Where is it gone? Paint.net, there it is. This is where we are so far with the artwork. We were currently working on the background, and at the moment, I think it's looking okay. The problem is like I'm not very good when it comes to drawing. But yeah, we're going to be continuing on with this artwork, and hopefully it works out. But yeah, let me have my phone here. Yeah, this is where we got to last time. I'm hoping like I can improve the the coloring a little bit for the background because I'd like to hope that through my time making like testing out like emote bases, other people's emote bases and stuff, that my shading and coloring has gotten better since the last time we did this, but I don't know. Anyway, let's see here. Separate out the layers. That's the outline. Those to there aren't being shown. Background outline. That's the top shade. Shadow, trees, grass, trees. Path. Path. So if you try and work on the path a bit, that might work. At the moment it's a straight line, but I want it to kind of come underneath the characters. Hmm. Where's my colour palette? There it is. See it at the moment. Just barely see it. Let me see them. Okay, let me have a look here. Okay, so that's why the blue. Okay. Okie dokie then. I want it to be a little bit thinner. Okay. So at the moment, so So trying to think what the best way of doing this is. I don't think that's what I'm I think we could keep it a straight line. No, we could do that. Hi there, yo, what's up? How are you? Okay, and a great day so far? Make this great. Hmm. As it's coming out, I want it to look lighter. Minute. Why is it there? Okie dokie. This is going to be interesting to see if this will work. So I want to keep it this color and then go a slightly lighter color. So let me have a look here. Where's my color palette? What's the color at the moment? To that, probably? We'll put my 55. Yeah, we go like this. Good. Yeah. I'm gonna try and ruffle the edges a little bit. Sounds good. Still looking quite dark. Hmm. Feels way too dark at the moment. Let me see if I can find a way to lighten this up a little bit more. It's the star one. So I can try and put a bit of light. See? If you do it, okay. Let's see here. Mm, Okay. Trying to remember, was it a red apple or a green apple that Snow White had? Okay, it was red. Cool. That helps a lot. Hmm. Let's see. Right. Oh my eyes. Okay. Okay, so that's on the layer that I'm gonna delete. Okay, that's around the edge. I feel like I'm gonna have to lighten the area again. Okay, I need to find my outline layer. Where is it gone? Where has my outline layer gone? Nope. Outline. Okay, it's at the very top. Cool. Mm, Explain it, and then Okay. Oops, I did that wrong way, didn't I? Oops, it is it. Oh, is that looking? Oh, I just realised my character's. There you go. Okay, that's going to cause a problem, ain't it? Okay, to note that. Ah, okay. Mm, do I want? I need a small, like, shine spot. I think is the only thing I'm missing. One second, I just check which button is it. It's 7. 7 is the one I should not press. So 7. Do not press 7. It's, hmm. I mean, I think it looks okay. What do you think, yo? What's up? I'm trying to do the apple coloring at the moment. Yeah, deselect the line. What do you think? Still need to do the stalk and then the hands. I just hope that it stands out okay because I feel like the background's quite dark, but I'm hoping that it will look okay. I just need to take it slow and steady, if you know what I mean. Okay. Hardest part is going to get the skin color right. Well, it's not really a right, but make it look actually human. Let's go. Let's go. Hopefully that's this to at least stand out a little bit. Okay, I think that's okay. Which hand to do first? Probably the one with the apples, I think. Uh, Left, right hand, right hand. Making sure I separate the layers out correctly. Okay, okay. So, right, let's go on to My color palette layer. A skin tone. And then we need a slightly lighter tone because it's gonna be this, and then Snow White is the one grabbing the apple. So we need a slightly lighter skin tone somehow. Like, not that white. Probably that. That'll probably work, and then hopefully I can get the shading right for our hand. Oh man. Okie dokie. Let's see then. So let's start off. This one. See how this looks. Okay. Oh, another bit that needs to get erased. It's the one thing when you do outlines, if you go wrong and have to erase something, sometimes I don't erase it all. Okay. Perfect. Getting a little. Mm, delete those. I delete those. Mm. This is the so for reference. This is the small finger, little finger, next finger along, next finger along, next finger along. Thumb is somewhere over here. Stuff. This here is the palm. Don't know if I need those lines. Might in the oopsie. Yeah. We'll just say at least several nodes. I'm not very good at drawing, and I certainly am not very good at drawing people or hands. So honestly, I think it's looking fairly good, but it's probably slightly off when it comes to like positioning. Thank you. Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing. You need to do more art to get better at it. You know what I mean? Like for me, I did this outline like I don't even know how long ago now. So I'm hoping I can finish this off today and maybe start on the next one. But at the same time, like I always start the same way. It always starts with a very rough, like outliney sketch, if you know what I mean. So, it's just one of those things. I'm trying to get better at it, and I think this is probably the best hand both that I've done, I think. Definitely feels like it. But that's just my opinion. It's, okay, let's go 30. Make this bigger. It's a daisy that went around the edge. But yeah, I enjoy drawing. It's just sometimes drawing gets very frustrating when it doesn't look the way you want it to. So once I've gotten to this point where it's just the colouring in bit, slash shading bit. It seems to go a lot smoother. Okay, so that's all blocked in. Now we just need to shade part of it in, which is going to be the hard bit. So it feels like, I'm just going to make a new layer. Feels like shading like across here, something like that for the sleeve. Like a little here, a little here, and then little bits like, like that, I think. I just need to make sure I get the right color. Let's take the original color, shade it up a little bit. Oh, lovely, I just accidentally got rid of the shade. Don't want to do that. Turn to that then. So I need to trace that. Lower that a bit. Yeah, perfect. It's crazy how easy it can be sometimes. Just and did it on the wrong layer. I love it. There you go. Put it on the right layer so I can actually keep. So let's put this on the color palette layer. Get neaten up the edges. Hi Mercury, how are you? Hope you're having a great day so far. I think that's quite good. I think I got the right color for the shading. I think we need like a little corner here. I just got to work. I've been doing good. Mixed day so far. I was planning to do something else in a way. You can see it in the Discord, if you're a part of it, but a different uh thing won the spin the wheel today for today's stream, but I couldn't or was a little worried about downloading it after I looked into how the download works. Um, yeah. You could check out the Discord. I put all my info, all the reasons why I was a bit iffy about installing it. But basically, the game uses a .bat file, which is a file that stores commands. And basically, if you activate it, it then executes the commands in the command prompt, which in this instance, is what connects it to a server to download the game to your laptop. But the problem is, I do not trust stuff that far when it comes to my command prompts. I mean, the command prompt is the most authority you have over a computer, and I just did not want to risk giving like the software using that basically to install it because I don't know what else it's gonna do, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I won't say what the game is here, but you'll find out in the Discord. But it's a popular game. Like it's probably safe. I mean, it's one of those things. It's a very popular fan game and stuff. But it's how far do you trust people, Plus, how far, like, because it's not even just trust. You know, it's like trust plus understanding that something could go wrong, basically. And for me, who's trying to get into the cybersecurity side of jobs and stuff, I am extra safety conscious about stuff related to my computer, basically. So I've decided to hold off on playing that game. It's still one the thing, and I'll still play it at some point, but I'm going to do it in a virtual machine. Once I have a virtual machine set up, of course. But that's just for my own security, basically. I don't want to risk like KOing the only working computer I have at the moment. You know what I mean? For one game. But yeah, so that was it. Yeah, it's still technically one, and I will be streaming it at some point. But yeah, if you want more details, I don't know if you're in Discord or do. There's information in the what was it, the spin the wheel tab in the Discord for why I decided not to in the end. But it's my own fault. I should have looked up how the game installed a while ago, but when I did, it was just, oh, it's a zip file. So my brain was like, oh, it's probably a zip with all the files inside it. Perfect. All you have to do is, extract them and you're good to go. But as soon as I saw it was a dot bat and had stuff to do the command prompt, and I was like, okay, no, nope, I'm not doing that today. It happens, but I mean, as I said, it's probably still safe because loads of people have downloaded it this way, but at the same time, I just don't really want to risk it. So instead, we rolled slash spun the wheel again, if you know what I mean. So, so yeah, spin the wheel again. And the create a Yu-Gi-Oh Archetype one for the second one. So we're continuing the artwork from where we left off last time. So I'll bring it up again. Let's show it off. So change the slides. 1 second. Get rid of this. So this is the archetype I'm trying to make. So I tried to think of something. This is a while ago, so my brain's a little bit forgetful on it. But this is the archetype I've came up with. It's called Stained Tales. Now the idea came about partially because I do like fairy tales quite a bit. Also from an anime I watched, Bungo to Alchemist. Um, so the idea is it's an archetype based on tainted, defiled fairy tales. So the idea is a fairy tale, they have, I mean, there's quite a few dark fairy tales and stuff, but the idea is that, say, Cinderella, but something goes wrong, if you know what I mean. So that's kind of like the idea. So if I go on to the next page, I came up with some card names based on different fairy tales and then the difference that would occur. So I'll give you the example of the one I'm working on at the moment, which is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So the difference in the story is that the poison apple did kill Snow White in the end, and that under the stepfather's authority ensured that the seven dwarves were blamed for it, and also stopped the prince from meeting Snow White's body, ensuring she isn't revived, type thing. And what was it? We got this one, and let's see. For Cinderella, I wrote down the difference in the story. The fairy godmother, though, helps Cinderella gets the ball or items created by her disappear at midnight, but this time it includes the glass slippers, ensuring the prince will never find Cinderella, leaving to live out the rest of her life with the evil stepmother and sisters. Right, some are more in depth than others. Hansel and Gretel. The difference is so unfortunately they are unable to deceive the witch, which leads them into the witch eventually eating them. And Red Riding Hood, the hunter is fooled by the wolf, doesn't save the grandma or Little Red Riding Hood, allowing the wolf to live and occupy the restaurants until the next person comes to the door. So it's like the fairy tales but the plot point changes. Like for example, if I was to do something like Sleeping Beauty, it would probably be something like, the Finneil, instead of putting her to sleep, like kills her or is put into sleep indefinitely to the point where no one can wake her up type thing. But yeah, this is the concept, and it's called Stain Tales. And I tried to make it kind of Yu-Gi-Oh-y. So it's all got the Stain Tales moniker, which is like the archetype name, and then of the or of in the names. And of course, I have a few non-specific story cards, which is a archive of the Stain Tales, which is kind of like a library and librarian of the Stain Tales. So you have like one main monster, kind of like how what is it? A lot of the new cards these days have like one main monster, like Engraver, um, Fallen and Albaz and stuff, to have like one main character for the main story card that kind of like relates to the same stories and stuff. But yeah, if you check out Bungo to Alchemist, it's similar to Bungo Stray Dogs. It's like got the Japanese writers in and other writers in, but this has a similar concept to that where their stories are tainted and change. And that's kind of where I got the idea from, really. And then I just applied that to fairy tales. So at the moment, the one that's highlighted, Stained Tales of the Poison Apple, is the one I'm currently on at the moment. And this is what I've got so far. If I change over, that would help. And that's the one I'm currently on at the moment. And it's basically I believe it's the stepmother giving the apple to Snow White scene. Hi there, how are you? But yeah, that's basically the archetype we're doing and stuff. So it's one of those things, isn't it? Takes a long time to explain. Ah, you're good? I'm great. I'm glad you're doing good. I was just explaining to Mercury our um archetype we're working on. I'm doing good myself. Feels like a long day, but you know. But yeah, I was just explaining the archetype that I'm working on and how it works and stuff. I haven't worked out levels, effects, attributes, or types, although I was thinking about using counters because you don't really see counters very often in Yu-Gi-Oh these days. So I was thinking about doing like counters based archetype. I mean, I've done a fair amount of art recently. I mean, I don't know if you class it as art, but I'm not the best when it comes to drawing, especially people. So I've been using some free emote bases to try and help with that. Some of which are on here at the moment. Let me have a look. It was the gun one, the dumb one, the bonk, and that one. And where's the one? Yeah, this one. I'm trying to get better at doing artwork, but it's slow progress, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so I worked on these ones where I used the emote base as a base. Jeez, what's going on here? One sec. Ooh, great. Now I can't see half the chat. But yeah, I'm trying. But yeah, this is the archetype. I know counters are slow, but at the same time, depends on the counters. I mean, we don't want to talk about six Sam versus six Sam. That's probably the best implementation of counters, honestly, the six Sam counters. But yeah, so this is what the artwork looks at the moment. Let me just zoom out of it. So we're currently doing like a Snow White themed card at the moment. If I bring up the thing again, so we're doing this one, Tainted Tales of the Poison Apple Spell. But yeah, I think it's coming along fairly good. And honestly, like my favorite bit at the moment is the apple, which I did today. Like I think that's probably the my favorite like shaded thing at the moment. But yeah, I enjoy drawing a lot, but it's like how to put it? It's trying to get what you want it to look like on paper that I find the most difficult. Like I'm still really bad at drawing people, and honestly, the hands that I've done in this one are probably the best I've done so far ever. But at the same time, it's like once I get to the shading bit and everything's like mainly done, it's just shading and small changes. Like that's where I have the most fun with it. Mhm. But yeah, but that's one thing. Oh yeah, that doesn't come up. Dear me. But yeah, I think the thing like I might put a channel in the Discord for this, but I'm not sure. But if you guys have any like suggestions on card effects or the main gimmick for this archetype, feel free to put it in chatter in the Discord because that's the one thing I haven't worked out on. Like I was thinking counters, but at the same time, this archetype that I've made, as you can see, is quite large at the moment. I'm probably gonna pick and choose some of these, and of course, some of them will be, like, I might do the whole Red Riding Hood one and maybe two of these, I don't know. But all of them are going to be related to each other. They're not going to be like kind of like how what is it? Like kind of like how Vista Starfrost has like multiple archetypes, for example. But to have like these ones, so the non-specific story cards be the main thing, and then having bits and bobs of each of them relating to it and stuff. But yeah, so if you have any suggestions on like an archetype, like gimmick type thing, yeah, put it in chat. 'Cause that's one of the things I still haven't worked out on yet properly. Yeah, so the way I've got it at the moment is that you have the librarian, that's the main guy at the moment. So you have like two main entities at the moment that are like non-specific story. One is the archive, which is like the library that holds the books. And then the other one is the librarian monster entity that looks after and manages the Stain Tales. Whether it's making sure they don't go too crazy or fixing them is something I haven't completely worked out yet, but there is going to be a main monster, kind of like how what is it? Oh man, what was that archetype? The fusion one where there's Alistair, yeah, kind of like Alistair. Like you have the main monster and then you fuse with him into other ones. But he's going to be the main like one that relates to all these. I mean, it could be that like effects of these can like do stuff, but do extra stuff while he's on the field, maybe. Or this thing triggers effects, kind of like how some cards are like if you play a spell, activate effect, or if you banish something, activate an effect stuff. Maybe it has an effect like that on the field. But yeah, it's hard to know because it's like I want it to be strong, but at the same time, like, you know how Yu-Gi-Oh is at the moment? There are so many strong cards in Yu-Gi-Oh at the moment that, like, I don't want it to be too strong. Ridiculous. I think that's okay. I want to get the cloak out the way, which is going to be a dark black dot blue. So let's start with this one. Yeah. Ah, like, what have we got for counter archetypes at the moment? You really just, I mean, the two that come to mind are spell counters, and then, of course, the counters that Six Sam use on their main spell. Hi there, what the heck, man? How are you? We're doing some talks and discussions while doing art at the moment. I'm currently working on a Yu-Gi-Oh archetype at the moment. This is the artwork I'm doing at the moment, and if I minimize this, this is the actual ooh, fighting game combos, nice. If I change page over, this is the archetype theme. It's like tainted for stories or not true bad outcomes of fairy tales for Yu-Gi-Oh! And these are all the test cards. Yeah, so I've called it Stained Tales. So it's the Stained Tales, and the idea is, well, I don't know what they're going to do fully yet. I haven't worked out card effects or anything, but the idea is relating to the cards is it's fairy tales that have bad endings or stained slash manipulated endings type thing. So I'll give you an example here. I've got like little notes on here, but for the Snow White story, the difference in the story, the poison apple did kill Snow White, and under the stepmother's authority ensured the seven dwarves were blamed. This stopped the prince from meeting Snow White's body, ensuring she isn't revived. And let's see, Little Red Riding Hood. Difference in the story. The hunter is pulled by the wolf, doesn't save the grandma or Little Red Riding Hood, allowing the wolf to live and occupy the residence until the next person comes to the door. Things like that. So it's taking like a fairy tale and changing up the ending is kind of like the theme of this archetype. So I have cards that are like based on different main points. So, like, for Cinderella, we've got Cinderella, Fairy Godmother, Prince, and then Glass Slippers. Oh, thank you for the head pats, posture check, and hydrate. And at the moment, I'm currently working on the Stain Tales of the Poison Apple spell. And there's also going to be non-specific story cards, so one that's themed around the library as well as the librarian. And yeah. I'm currently working on the Tales of the Poison Apple one because I actually had an idea around how that was going to look. And this is as far as I've gotten so far. If I change over, keep on forgetting to change over when I bring it up. This is what we've got so far at the moment, which I think is going good. I mean, I'm not the best when it comes to drawing. The one reason why I still draw is to try and improve my skill on it. But yeah, at the moment, there's only a bit left to do, really. It's the sleeve and then Snow White's hand, really, and then any amendments that needs doing, because the backdrop is looking really dark. I wanted it to look like it was in a dark, dingy forest type thing, but it feels like, with how dark it is, how the hell are they supposed to be able to see each other, if you know what I mean? Thank you, Link. Goodness. But yeah, I think the best thing I've done today is probably the apple. The apple looks actually quite good, I think. And then I managed to somehow skin tone shift for the shading of the skin tone, which I somehow managed to get right first try. I'm not the best when it comes to color coordinating. Ooh, nice. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so this is what we've got so far at the moment, and I think it looks fairly good. It's just whether or not it's too dark, getting closer to the characters or not. But yeah, and of course, we will be using like a Yu-Gi-Oh card creator thing at some point, but we haven't finalized the effects of the cards yet. Like, we got the names, we don't know what they're gonna, what's like. If you ever look at my notes, I've got like basic idea of them. Like, I've got spell that add cards, stuff like that. Spell, continuous trap question mark type thing, like to try and get some ideas together and stuff. But yeah, it's levels, effects, attributes, and types are still up in the air basically a bit. Like, you can have an idea of like some of them, like for example the fairy godmother, if we get around to that one, will probably be fairy type, but other cards won't be, it's kind of all over the place at the moment when it comes to the specifics. But I'm hoping it'll be fairly simple, but I want to leave the effects till we've got a few card artworks done, which might be a while. As said, I am not the best when it comes to drawing. I try and take things slow and steady. This is technically our second stream, and we've continued on from where we were last time with the artwork. And I think it definitely looks better than it was last time. But yeah, let's see here. Didn't change over, did I? Keep on forgetting that. So we're going to be doing the sleeve, then the hand, then we're going to get rid of the layers. Like, I've got the palette layer that I need to get rid of, and then yeah, it's It's just trying to work it out really, because it's like some archetypes focus around a specific, type of monster. Some don't. Some really don't. And, it's interesting because it's like trying to like, specifically keep it to the Stain Tales type stuff. So the way it's probably gonna work is kind of like probably how the Tri Brigade work, where they have like three different types of monster, I think, in Tri Brigade. I think it's, what is it, Beast, Winged Beast, and Warrior, I think, is it? I can't remember actually. But yeah, so it'll be basically more based on the archetype name for summoning stuff than it would be their, like, what type of monster they are, I think. But yeah. Yeah, let's continue with the artwork because it feels like I'm getting close to finishing it. Oh, yeah, something like that. Monster, not yeah. Well, I'll note down any like major like ideas and stuff. Let me take a screenshot. There you go. Helps if I take a screenshot. There you go. Yeah. Okay, is this the right layer I'm on? Double check. Looks like it. Okay, then, so sleeve color. I can't spell. Okie dokie. So let me go onto the backdrop where my color palette is. Mm, might not be dark enough. Mhm. Maybe that, and then probably that. That's too big of a tone shift. We'll get there. We'll get there. Nope. There we go. So let me. Let's see how this looks. Sleep color. Cool. So part of this, so we're gonna have this here is gonna be the main sleeve color. Let me double check. Yeah. And then this color here is gonna be the shading color. But yeah, the first sleeve I was thinking like a dark blue black color. So I think that might be dark enough. What do you guys think? Do you think it's too bright still? Hmm. Hmm. Looks bright, yeah. I don't know if it's just because of the green behind it. It does look a little bit too bright, but 25 to 23. Ooh. Maybe we should use. What about using the shading color as the main color then? So instead of using that blue, it uses this blue, and then use a slightly darker blue for the shading. Yeah, so we'll use the shaded color blue, and then we'll have to make a darker blue for after for the shaded bit. Like, it's probably like the reason why it looks bright is probably because of how dark everything else is, if you know what I mean. The issue of doing the background first. Well, yeah, I've split it off into layers and stuff. Like, I can turn off, let's say, layer 19. That's like an overlay I did to make it darker. Because it looked like the trees were showing up too much and stuff. But I've made sure to separate all the layers out. There's a few that I accidentally got on the wrong layer, like for example, the bottom bit of that. I accidentally did on the wrong layer, but I try and split them up and then I label them all to the best of my ability. But yeah, even now I still mix up layers sometimes, if you know what I mean. Poison code. Can you send me an example? Are you in the Discord? Oh yeah, yeah. It's when you realize and you're like, I can't back out or fix it, and then you have to try and like recreate it on a different layer. Yeah. I have a Discord, so if you can give me an example of it, spelled it right. Yeah. If you can give me an example of like what you're talking about, because it's been a while since I've watched Snow White or anything. Just put it in. Don't really have like section for this. Maybe we're in the Discord would be best. Probably just in general, maybe, since we're just chatting on stream and stuff. I'll have a look. What you mean? Give me a heads up when you put an example in, so I know to check. That's 25. image there, and then you just yeah, like roughly. Just put it in general something. We don't really have a tab specific for this, if you know what I mean. So just put in general for now will be fine. Yeah, I might have to like if this becomes more often, if you know what I mean, I might make a tab for it at some point. Interesting. Hmm. Maybe? Like, that'll definitely show that it's poisoned, if you know what I mean. Hmm. Hmm. We'll have to have a think on that. That is an interesting idea to do. Because at the moment, if you just saw the artwork alone, you wouldn't know it would be poison, for example. But then again, it's like whether or not it's like applying logic to card art or stories. Hmm. I'll have a think on it, but that's a good idea. That's definitely a good idea. I'll have a think on it because it's quite a lot I'll have to do. I could probably do it on top of the art on another layer, but it's the whole thing of like, how to put it? Mm, Poison on top, like, it's definitely a interesting way to show poison on something. I just don't know if it's right for the style that I'm going for the artwork or not. I'll have a think, and if it comes to it, we could just do it on a separate layer and, toggle it off and on to see what people think. You know what I mean? I mean, it's all about, like, testing stuff. I'm not the best when it comes to art, but the basic painted style, really. Plan to do, like, test out some of the, what do you call it? Like, it was either to keep it as it is with a generic like anime-ish style here, or go into one of the filters. But I don't know. I was thinking about using one of the filters on top of it, but it's one of those things I don't know because, I'm not the best when it comes to artwork and stuff. Okay, we need a slightly darker one. So which way is dark? This? Maybe? But yeah, it's like I tried to keep it like, simple. I mean, the apple looks semi-realistic to me, but but yeah, it's hard to know what to do because I was trying to keep it like how you get loads of different styles of artwork and stuff. But just drawing it in my own style, but it's hard to know. We'll see. We'll see. It's definitely an interesting idea, and I could try it on like a different like artwork and stuff, but it's like the whole thing of like it dripping over like the Wicked Witch's not Wicked Witch, the Wicked Stepmother's hands, if you know what I mean. Like I don't know if that'll look okay. But yeah, we'll see. We'll keep going with where we are at the moment and maybe do an extra layer on top to see what it look like, if you know what I mean. And see whether it looks better with or without it. I think it's probably the best way I can do that. Okay, is this the dark enough? Is this colour dark enough, do you think, or is that too slight? I think it looks too slight. I'm gonna have to darken it a little bit more. Maybe this. Hmm. Hmm, maybe slightly darker. How about that? I'm hoping it looks better when actually, is added in a full block, if you know what I mean. If you exit out a little bit, it's hard to tap. It doesn't help that this, the closer I get in for the stream side of things, it looks a little pixelated, but hmm, I think that might be dark enough. I don't want to go too dark because if, I want it to at least match the tone of darkness as this shading here with the skin. Oh, this stuff's so difficult to shade sometimes. Okay, let's do, I don't know, 6. Okay. Is that okay, do you think? It's a little bit up here, I think. Something like that. And then it just needs a little bit on the creases, I think. How does that look, do you think, for the shading for the sleeve? I think that's the right shade. Feels like it might need a bit of a highlight on the edges, but I don't know if that's just me. Hmm. Yeah, I think that's the right shade. It feels like it needs a little bit of like it's blending in a little bit. The edges. I don't know. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, you have to think about it this way. Like, if this card ever becomes like an actual thing, it's like it's going to be really small. on like the actual artwork. So subtle will probably be fine. But that's the thing. It's like if you have it too bright, then it'll stand out too much. It's probably why I like the apple so much. I think I managed to get that almost perfect when it comes to like the shading on the edges and stuff. Anyway, on to Snow White's hand, which we have one shade. I don't know if we need. We might need a little bit of like. I think we might need a little bit of shadow on like one or two of the fingers, I think. But other than that, like the hand's gonna be pretty much one color, I think. Let's have a go. This is the next bit. Get the color. So, from what I remember of Snow White, it was that she has like really fair skin. So I picked a skin tone that's slightly lighter than the stepmother's skin. So you can tell it's a different person, basically. So let's see. Yeah. Color palette. I just hope it still looks like a skin color, I think. It's not quite white. Yeah, it's something like that, isn't it? It's like, how white can you go before it looks white, if you know what I mean? I think this color looks okay. We'll use it and see what you guys think. I think it's the best way of doing it. I mean, that's the one thing when you have the background already in, colors change depending on which background it's over the top of. So, left hand color layer. So let's see. Yes. Oh, is that a see-through? No, it isn't. Oh, one second. That explains it. Yeah. Honestly, I think I did like, for example, with the right hand, I think I actually managed to color shift tone the shadow really well, I think. Because I started off with the lighter skin first, and then I managed to nudge it and manage to get this tone, which I think looks good for a shading. But the most I did, like, I did do art for GCSEs, but it was fine art. It was mainly pencils and like acrylics and stuff. And even then, I only got a D in it. Now, the reason why this is slightly shaded is because of the shadow layer at the top. So I'm gonna just move that. So that's on top of it now. But yeah, I've done like I said, I did GCSE art, fine art, and then I did tech graphics in like A levels, which is more of the digital side of art, I guess. Doing like uh designs for like book covers and stuff. And using Illustrator and Photoshop. There's the end of the finger on that. Ooh, an idea. Mm. Honestly, like that's the one reason why art's been a bit hard for me over the years. It's trying to get uh my artwork out my head, if you know what I mean. Getting stuff onto paper and make it look the way you want it to look like never works for me sometimes. Yeah, it's the whole thing of like I've got quite a good imagination. It's when you can imagine things and like you try and put it on paper and then it looks trash. If you know what I mean. If there was technology that could grab images from your head, I'd love that to be a thing because I'd be like using it all the time for like artwork and stuff. Yeah, Edge. Yeah, this one's came out fairly close. Mental imagery. Oh man, like literally, I daydream all the time. Mainly anime. I daydream anime scenes and like my own like anime stories and stuff. Kidoku. Let's Oopsie daisy. That was fine. Mm-hmm. Kidoki almost done below. Listen. Kidoki. I need to try and tonal shift this to make it slightly muted, slightly down a little. Now then, I gotta get this first try on that. I think I got that first try. All I had to do was go up on, what was it? Go up or down on the V, down on the V, and up on the S, and that somehow gets it every time. Just pressed randomly too. Oh man. Let's see. Fading from this angle, it's probably gonna be like where's my left hand? Right, another layer. It's gonna be like, I don't know, probably like that. A little bit here, I think. Okay. Hmm. I think I understand that. So I'm presuming the witch is the evil stepmother. I think you're talking about. Mm, there might be space for that. It's hard to say because it's like you have to remember this artwork's going to be really small. Like I almost thought about having like a lantern like in the bottom left corner, try and light up the screen a little bit. Oopsie, that's way too much. Yeah. It's whether or not we can fit it in. It's really weird because it's like trying to get the perspective right, if you know what I mean. Because at the moment, so mental imagery here. So the stepmother is holding the apple in her right hand, giving it, and Snow White's hand is coming, left hand coming from slightly off to the left of it, coming towards it. And you have to think that they're almost like directly in front of each other. So it's one of those things where I don't think like you'd have to make the main point, the center point smaller and add more like, arm length on each side for there to be enough of a perspective change to fit something extra in, I think. You have to remember, I'm not very good at drawing, and perspectives is something that can affect a lot of things when it comes to a drawing. But yeah, that might be something because it's like, hmm, let me go over the inspiration a little bit again because, like I said, an anime actually inspired part of this a little bit. I don't know if any of you have watched the anime Bungo to Alchemist. Um, I found out about it. I'm a big Bungo Stray Dogs fan myself, and I found out about the anime for Bungo no Alchemist, and I watched it. And the premise is very similar to this idea for an archetype, where what was it? There's a library, authors are living there after their death, and they're having to protect their books from some weird thing that's like corrupting the books, basically. Just an overview quickly, but there are entities behind the changes, basically, for this anime. But I wasn't sure if I was going to go that route with the Stain Tales or not, because I wanted to kind of push it into a different direction a little bit. But as said, there are bits of this that I don't know. I'm still leaving quite open, like the levels and effects and stuff. The main, like for example, we have all these tales that are effective, as well as the library they're stored in and a librarian, but I don't have backstory yet on how they came to be type thing yet. So it could be there is something evil going on which affects the books, which does this, or it's just something that happened through time. Because the one thing with stories and legends, fairy tales, is that stuff does get changed and twisted over years and things like that. I mean, even words and meanings get changed every so often throughout the years and stuff. And, it's hard to know. It's definitely an interesting idea, though. Um, I'm definitely going to note that down as maybe something, maybe having like a wisp or a something like leading the situation or something in the background. It's definitely something to consider. I guess it's with trying to finalize whether or not we want it to be like whether there's someone specifically changing these stories or whether these stories have just changed and we're leaving it open to interpretation, I guess. But yeah. Hard to say. Let's not. There we go. So yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's hard to know. It's hard to know. Now the question is, do I need to do this? Oh, actually, let me turn it off. That's why. There we go. I think that looks good. Well, that explains why it was looking brighter. So let me turn it off. How's that looking at the moment, though? That's everything coloured in. The only thing I need to do, I think, on the page is get rid of the artist splodges. Yeah, it's something to consider. I mean, we could leave it up to interpretation or go this a route similar to how this anime that I took a bit of inspiration from goes, where there is a bad entity doing it. But yeah. So far, this is what the image looks like at the moment. Like coming to mind based on that, I mean, I'm almost inclined to like add some like not magic, but like a misty swirling effect around it. Like, as being the bad entity. And like every artwork will have some sort of misty entity around. But I don't know. It's hard to say because it does change up the image quite a bit. Because there's also the whole it being very dark in the background type thing still that's an issue. Hmm. Might have to think about it some more. A mind map might be needed. Oh man, how long have we been going for? Almost 2 hours. I mean, this artwork's almost done. It's whether we just change it a little bit. Or is in the background, yeah. Hard to say. It would help fill the background, but at the same time, with how dark the background is, and like coming to mind for like a dark entity is like for me like a misty, shadowy thing, something that's there but not there. And it's hard to know whether adding that to the background would like add something or whether it's too far away. Or like having like something like because like I said, this story, the way that this is working is that the stories have a bad ending type thing. but in every single one, something is the main point of origin of the bad thing happening. So, for example, with the Snow White, the apple did kill her, for example. The hunter is fooled by the wolf. And then what was it with the fairy godmother, the glass slippers disappear, stuff like that. There's always at least one specific item, item in the story that is what related. Like if this apple wasn't to kill them, it would have followed the main story type thing. Hmm. I'd have to have a think on it. Hmm. Hmm. I'll note it down, I think. Let's see here. Give me a second. Oh my goodness, come on. Nope. Ah. Oh, come on. Literally. Just trying to, like, get rid of it, but keep the bullet points. Okay. So, let's see here. Spec. Let me spell. Spectral. Oof. Sorry about that. Spectral. Making sure I spell it right. Instead, spellings are annoying. Spectral. T. T. Dark spectrum. See. Because this might be a running theme with the cards, you see, having this dark spectral entity being in the background. So that's why I think we should have a think on it, because for finalizing a card and saving it properly, since we could have it as like something that's in every picture or every artwork, if you know what I mean. Hmm. Hmm. What do you guys think? Like, it's like at the moment, this could work. I guess it depends on like what type of entity we're going with, whether we go for like person figure in the background to a, I don't know, a misty ghost figure or something. And like whether it would work with what we've got at the moment for like the first artwork and stuff. Hmm. Well, if it comes to it, I mean, we'll be doing more streams like this. It's going to be put back on the spin the wheel, so hopefully it will reappear sooner rather than later and such. But yeah, like it might work. It's just whether or not like how we show that up on the artwork, if you know what I mean. I mean, when I think of like a spectral entity, one of the let me think. Mm, I guess one of the Cloudrians comes to mind a little bit. One second. Let me see if I can find it. One second. Give me a second. Mm, just looking up on my phone just to think if I'm thinking of the right thing. And to make sure I spell it right, because is it here or am I thinking of something else? No, it's not. I'm probably imagining something of something else, but like what I'm thinking is like a ghostly, like um almost misty type like entity. Um, how to put it into words? It's like hmm. It's almost as if it's like a cloud figure type thing, like misty, and then having like kind of like not its hands on, but like reaching out, like because if we go with this route of like an entity messing up the stories and stuff, it would have to have interacted with this poisoned apple at some point and stuff. But yeah, I'll have to have a think about it. At the moment, I think the artwork looks perfectly fine as it is at the moment. We could probably add something somewhere on it because it does feel like the left corner is a little open as well as the top right corner. We can have a think on that, I think. So far, I think the artwork looks fairly good. And then I think the only other thing is like if we do go this route of like adding shadows and misty stuff to it, coloring of it, because at the moment, this, especially this artwork, is very dark in the background and slightly more brighter here. It's like how to make it blend into the background while not being so blended into the background that you can't see it. You have to remember that like we're designing this for as a Yu-Gi-Oh card artwork type thing. And Yu-Gi-Oh cards are the smaller type of cards and have quite small artwork, so it's making sure it actually shows up and stuff. But yeah, something to think on, I think. And we'll probably leave it here and probably think on it. I will probably make a chat in the Discord for this series and put what we've got so far so you guys can see like pictures of like the base idea and stuff because I do enjoy this quite a bit. It gets me more arty and stuff, and of course we've came up with quite a few different like card names and stuff, so we should be able to make quite a few hopefully over a good like a good while period, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I'll have a think, and I'll put, like I said, I'll try and make an error in the Discord later that kind of has like a big group of information about the idea and archetype and stuff. Anyway, this is what we've done for today. I think it looks really good. I think we've done the shading quite well. It's whether or not it's too dark in quotation marks. Um, but yeah. We'll leave it here for today. And like I said, I'll make an area in the Discord. So if you guys have any ideas and stuff in relation to this archetype I'm trying to make, you can put him in there as soon as I make it. But yeah, I think we'll end it here for today. Let's go find someone to raid. Mm. And I might save this as an actual picture and put it in there and see what you guys think as well. As like a, so far thing. And whether we should go this other route of like the poison coated apple as well. Whether it needs that or not. But yeah, need a bit of a break. Okay, let's see who is online at the moment for a raid. Stream manager, raid channel. Mhm. Ooh, I almost forgot. It's Suffering's birthday today. I think it's today. Oh, I almost forgot. Let's go raid Suffering. Give me a second. Let's bring up the raid messages. I don't know what's up with OBS, but I can't see half the chat. But yeah, it's Suffering's birthday today, I believe. He mentioned it last time he was in chat or when I last raided him that his birthday was coming up, and it says birthday stream on his actual thing. So we'll go raid Suffering, send the supporters way. Looks like he's playing Yu-Gi-Oh Master Duel, which doesn't surprise me. But yeah, let's go raid Suffering and send him loads of happy birthdays. Mm, okay. I have to make something maybe. If I remember, if I make something. Yeah. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed today's stream. Um, I think we've done quite well on the artwork. Sadly, no music in the background, but that's just because I want to post it to YouTube. Yeah, birthday raid. But yeah, this will be posted to YouTube, and you can actually check the previous um, what was it, archetype creation stream that is on YouTube. So this will also be going there. So feel free to check out the previous one if you want to see me doing the line work for it. But yeah, it looks like we're about to raid any minute. Let's go send some birthday support to Suffering. But yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And I hope to see you all in another stream. Bye all!